is your own contrarian truth? What is that one truth that you hold on to that not too many people agree with you on? Welcome to Streams. On this edition of Streams, we'll be looking at entrepreneur's contrarian truth. You see, a contrarian truth is the truth that you know something or you have knowledge about, but not too many people agree with you on it. It's a way of doing a particular business that you are interested in, but not too many people have figured that out. Take, for example, Steve Jobs bet on the contrarian truth that all of us will one day love to have a device that serves as our phone, as our music device, and we can browse on it as well. That's what he bets iPhone on. So also, Netflix bet on the assumption that we all love to binge watch TV, that we don't always have the time to watch TV every day, that if there's a system that can hold it all together and maybe one weekend you can binge watch all the movies or the programs you have missed. So also is Uber, is Airbnb. They bet on the assumption for Uber, for example, that we all love to be driven by a driver. It's just that we are not rich enough to hire a driver to be on the standby. But if we can get that service at a cheap rate, where we don't have to have a standing driver whenever we need a car, we could hire someone with their own car, and we're happy to do that. Airbnb also bet on that, believing that we all love to sleep in hotels, just that we don't like to pay that much for a five-star hotel, that we'll be willing to stay in a stranger's house with all the services done for us, and we can have a good sleepover. These businesses have turned out to be multi-billion businesses all over the world because they bet on an uncommon truth that we may agree with in future, but we are not yet willing to agree with now. That's what a contrarian truth is. For an entrepreneur, is something that you know to be true, but not too many people are thinking that way, or maybe society is slightly going in that direction. Take, for example, when Netflix was debuted, there was the internet at that time wasn't as good as what we have today. You have fiber optic and all of, but the world was tilting in that direction. So they built a major advantage over every other company that is coming into that space now. It's a truth. You can have a contrarian truth about an existing sector of business. Take, for example, how many social media or social networking platforms or businesses were in operation before Facebook became public in 2004? We used to have this 6degrees.com. We have MySpace. We have Friendsters. These businesses were years and years ahead of Facebook. But despite the fact that you had major players in that space, guess what? In 2002, I remember being at some meetings, and it's always a kind of a buzzword talking about networking, talking about connecting, and there was no Facebook at the time. So all these platforms were driving the social connection, the networking, and the social media space. What happened? Facebook came with a unique knowledge, a contrarian truth of how to deliver social networking in a way that is unique to what all other companies or platforms were delivering. You can also come into a space like that with a new knowledge of how to deliver that business or how to innovate in that space. How many search engine companies were in place before Google came? There were all sorts of search engines. Alta Vista was there. Yahoo was there. There was Blogger. There was Web Crawler. But what happened? What did Google know that these other companies did not know? What was it that Google brought into that space that changed everything? This is a contrarian truth that people may not have thought of or may not have seen that business in that particular way or that particular delivery. Look at when Elon Musk was talking about using reusable rockets. Can you believe it? Neil Armstrong, the first man that stepped on the moon, opposed that idea. He said that is wrong. It will compromise the unique nature of space travel. What do we have today? Elon Musk believes in the possibility of using reusing rocket that he bet everything he had on it. Today, reusing rocket is made man to be a step closer to commercializing space travel. Now, rockets are delivering stuff and they are landed back on Earth to be used again. Can you imagine if air travel, you had to use one plane and then discard that plane and then have to go and buy another plane? But by innovating and bringing a new way of thinking or doing a business that can change or transform that business completely, that is your own contrarian truth. What is the future of the business you are interested in that people will like in future or very soon, but they are not fully there yet? Take, for example, people might like to have that service delivered virtually, but they are still thinking about it. But if you can figure out how to do that seamlessly for people to enjoy the same quality of service, but doesn't have to bother with maybe encumbrances of gadgets or maybe wires and stuff like that. Look at what is happening with food delivery, Uber Eats or Just Eat and all of these platforms. Because they bet on the fact that in a particular future, a majority of us will be willing to eat food that are cooked in places we don't even know that are delivered to us. So we all love to have a chef. We just might not have enough money to hire a standby chef, just like in the case of Uber. So in your own business or area of interest, look at something unique that you believe to be true. It's not just believing nonsense. It's believing something to be true, or there's a technology that is imagined that may be available for that industry, but not too many people knows about it. That could be your own contrarian truth to grow an advantage in a business. That's how Facebook grew an advantage in the social media space. That's how Google grew an advantage. That's how YouTube grew an advantage. So figure out what is that contrarian truth for you as an entrepreneur in your field of interest. But know this, your contrarian truth must be based on an innovation whose time has come. If you have an idea that is brilliant, but there's no technology available to deliver that idea, can you imagine if Netflix had launched in 1970 when there was no public internet? So your idea or your contrarian truth must be in line with where humanity, technology, and available technical know-how is going. So your contrarian truth must also synchronize with time. So you need to look at your interests, your area of specialization, the business you want to get into, and look at your own contrarian truth that will make you to stand out and to build advantage in that business. If this materials is useful for you, be sure to subscribe. There should be a link on this left side because you'll be able to see more materials and videos that will help you in your entrepreneurial journey, and you'll be able to build wealth to last. You can also go to adeolaojeni.com and you can see more materials that will help you on your own entrepreneurial journey. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.